Hey, welcome to Windham Weekly here on WILI 1400 AM and 95.3 FM. I'm your host, Ken Follen, the voice of Windham, along with my co-host, Mark, the heart of Windham,
The
Doyle.
heart of it, thank you.
His bad heart, black heart, cold, just saturated, negative heart that he has.
That's because I care, Ken. I care. I'm the heart
he's
of Windham.
care. You know Mark from the Board of Ed. He's a good guy, not a bad guy, not a great guy. But anyway, today on the show, which you can call in, 456-1400. This is a live call-in show because you may have some questions for our special guests today. We have one young lady here who is on her way to earn her PhD from UConn. She's going to introduce herself, talk about her steps in getting to UConn, where she is today, the program and her thesis. And she has two sidekicks who are going to fill in as well. And they also do stuff at the Windham Rec for families. So, Mark, why don't you take it away from here and get these young ladies
Well, let's go ahead.
All right, we'll start with our PhD candidate because, see, she's going to try to trip me up on big words and questions, but you know the voice.
And she also,
He's here. It's all up here.
She also has to leave early to teach a class at the
She has to go, she has to go to Windham Rec.
Go ahead.
So, hello, everyone. I'm Daniela, and I'm also a nutrition educator. Since 2021, I have been doing nutrition education here in Willimantic. So I'm originally from Brazil, and I came here in 2021 to start my master's. So it's about using online tools to make healthy food choices. So I finished my master's at UConn, and I decided to stay at UConn to do my PhD. So this is it's going to be my third year in my PhD program. And so our project comes from two sources of funding. The USDA through the National Institute for Food and Agriculture, Smart Nutrition Project, and also the SNAP program, the educational piece. So basically, since 2021, I have been going to different sites in Willimantic. So some of you maybe saw me events. Also, I usually go to food pantries to promote healthy eating and also affordable choices. And then, so my first survey that we did in 2022, we found something interesting. People who order groceries online, they reported healthier eating, but also they mentioned being difficult to manage online grocery shopping, or also it was too much expensive. So last year we created a new survey, and we are trying to find out about online behaviors related to food and nutrition. For example, simple things like looking online to find a recipe. Maybe you have some food pantry that have a lot of ingredients and you don't know what to do with these ingredients. So maybe you are trying to find some healthy recipes. So, and also we have a website too. So if anyone wants to search online healthy family Connecticut, you see our website with different recipes, different information that you can use in your family. So basically, this is the major point of my research is trying to find healthy eating and affordable choices.
So you're from Brazil. Mm-hmm. Where in Brazil?
Southeast.
Southeast.
Yes.
You know exactly where that is, right, Ken?
So it's the same region that São Paulo,
Yeah.
Rio. So
Rio. I was going to say Rio.
So my state is Minas Gerais. It's we don't have beautiful beaches because we are not in the coast, but it's a very nice state.
Yeah. So you went to undergrad school in Brazil.
Yes, and I also did an exchange program in SUNY Plattsburgh, New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had a scholarship, so I did 1 year and a half there. So I returned to Brazil to finish my program.
You got accepted for the grad program at UConn.
Yeah.
And accomplished that, and now you're going for your PhD.
Yes.
And the ultimate goal for you as far as a career goes?
Yeah. So I I love management and also leadership.
Oh,
So
wait, you hear that, blue collar
Management.
people? She loves management. You know what that
Management.
means.
Wow.
yeah, so I'm thinking
Rio.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about like going to like improve like nutrition education programs in could be like different sites. For example, schools or maybe like hospitals. Like trying to like make like very easy for people to understand they can make healthy choices like it doesn't need to be so difficult.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
huge need for nutritionists and dietitians out there. But you have that social aspect about you that I could detect right away when we first met.
Yeah.
That this is more about helping people with limited funds
Yep.
make the best choices they can with what they can afford. Am I correct? Is that all right? The
That's-
show's
you
over,
subbed that
because I'm not a PhD
No, no.
student, but I figured her game out.
We have two other guests we have to go with.
So your partner's out. Go right ahead.
Introduce somebody.
Hi everyone, my name is Siren Chen and I originally from China, and this is my second year, but I like in the schedule I've been graduate this year, but I extend my program just for the project.
Now this is for your master's you're extending.
Yeah.
What'd you do? And so you did your undergraduate where?
In here, but not in the Connecticut, it's in Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah. So I just start my undergraduate from 2019 from China to here and start my like nutrition study. And right now I'm in the nutritional science department. So my project is a kind of like next step from the Daniela's. Like we work with the Department of the Geography to developed a food asset map for the Windham County areas. So this map, the main purpose of this map, just want to give the residents here like to help them to find the nearby food resources, and also because before we build this map, we found like a lot of people, especially who join in the SNAP or WAKE programs, like food assistance program. Even they join this program, but they even don't know how to use it to find their benefits, like especially for the healthy, affordable food resources. So we just build this and using the human-centered design models to like. Before development, we hear and to write what the people really need, and then to build this map. So, and this map is also can be used on the mobile phones, tablet, and laptop. But because during the development, we're also doing some community testing, like we recruitment.
So you're part of her Danielle's program towards her thesis for her PhD, and that's a goal you may have yourself as well.
Like we kind of like the whole project together, but
because we have like a smart nutrition project, and this is one of the umbrellas.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like umbrella, like making like this map.
So does this? Are you studying or worried about food deserts where there isn't access?
Yeah, it's kind of because my undergraduate topic is kind of food safety and food system in the like the food desert areas for the people. So
are you including the? Oh, Ken, help me out here. The open. The food markets. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of
Pantries?
pantry. No, I'm thinking of the farmers markets type thing.
yeah. We like in our map we include the grocery stores, food pantry side, mobile food pantry side, and also like the farm market.
Right.
But also we include the public transportation roads, like the bus roads. People can see where they're right now, and also we include the like how to get their link. It's kind of the link. When they click it, they can jump to the Google Maps, so they will know how to get there. And like for the also I mentioned before, like we doing the community testing. Like we have the 4 tasks for the map, like just to want to know how the people use it. Like is it used or can they use it easily? So the 4 tasks to using the Google Map, like the how to get link, to find the specific locations and also enter a specific food pantry site address. But after that, we found the result is the younger, the higher educated, or have their own wicked codes can pass the test more easily. But the people like have the food insecure or like relied more heavily on the food assistant programs. It's just more difficult on passing that. So, but these people is really like who really need this digital tools, but finally they cannot pass the test. So as a result, we found like here is a big digital gaps in the community. So right now, our next step is to improve the digital access or digital literacy educations to help them to how to using the digital tools more easily, or like to getting the food more easily like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And our final friend over here.
Our final contestant for the day.
So my name is Marielis, but I go by Mari because it's just
Easier.
shorter.
It's easier for me.
Easier, yes.
I'll call you Ma. It's even easier.
Even shorter than that.
I was going to go with M, but that's okay.
We can't go shorter than them though. That's it.
Hey, girl. Let's go.
Yeah. So I'm born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I do live in Willimantic now for school because I do go to UConn. So for my undergraduate, I also was at UConn. I graduated with my Bachelor of Science in Allied Health Sciences, and then now I'm going into my second year in the Health Promotion Sciences program. So UConn cannot get rid of me, clearly. And I hope to continue, like, once I finish my master's this upcoming year, to continue with my PhD. I want to be a professor, and kind of the things that I've been, like...
So that's your end goal.
Yeah, like, I love teaching, and I feel like, especially with what we're doing, it's very important to keep pushing that out and, like, educating people. And then also, I just want to be... I've had good professors and all right professors, and I want to be that good professor to other students that were that for me.
Or do we have initials of the not so good professor?
No.
No, she still has to finish her master's.
Yeah. Maybe I'll come back in a couple years and it'll be a different conversation.
So
just throw one out
what's your
there.
end of the umbrella.
Okay, so yes, we've mentioned all of our projects or like portions kind of add on to one another. So mine specifically adds on to Shiran's with the food asset map. So like she mentioned, there is a food asset map that they've developed, and it's kind of like a one-stop shop of like mobile food pantries, bus routes, like grocery stores, that all like it's except SNAP. Or food stamps, which is probably more commonly known. So what I'm doing is that although we have this asset map, we want to make sure that people in the community are giving opinions and feedback on it, especially as with something like this, everybody tends to help one another and work together, especially like us at UConn. We're not physically in Willimantic all the time. And so my kind of portion of this is I've been doing stakeholder interviews with people specifically in Willimantic who work in Willimantic, and then especially if they're very active in the community. And so essentially I'm doing like, they're like maxed at 90 minutes of like a facilitated discussion of me. I essentially send them the map before we meet, and I allow them to just look through it as if like literally if I'm just handing this to you. And then when we meet, I kind of go through the map of like, ask them for suggestions. What were some pros, some cons? What was a little difficult to understand? What could we simplify? And then we also ask about like sustainability of the asset map. Because with a lot of resources, they're always available, but then after a couple of years, they don't exist anymore. So then we also ask, how can we actually maintain the sustainability of the map? And usually a lot of these like stakeholders have a lot of like insight because they've worked in the community and actually know what these people need or want, and that's a big like something important
so when
too.
you're talking asset maps, you're talking about where the food is. So whether it's a farmer's market, or so on, besides the regular grocery chains that are around. And
Yeah, so like the food asset map has all of that. Like it literally is a one-stop shop. But the problem is, like we mentioned, that technology isn't like everybody's strong suit. So it goes back to the same problem where we create this resource, but then people don't understand how to use it. And so my job is kind of to talk to community partners to see how we can bridge that gap. And then also already establishing that relationship so that when the food asset map is really like out there and pushed out, that we have people who know about it, who can help push it out, who can help people people understand how to use it. Like we mentioned, we're not always in Willimantic. Like UConn is still not the closest to Willimantic. So kind of equipping these stakeholders with like the tools to understand the food asset map, so when they are working with people in the community, they can explain it as well, and they can help guide them so that they're all actually utilizing the food asset map.
Well, that's the difficulty, though. A beautiful asset map, but the technology, even using their SNAP card online, which is now, I guess, okayed and legal, is the challenge that you see, especially in our community, I bet.
So is there a way for the public to access that map now? If someone had the technology or the...
Yes.
What is there a website that they should go to? Or
Yes, the Windham Life.
Yeah, like the website link is windham.com, I think.
I think it's like Windham.life.
Yeah.
Yeah, windham.life.
And then
.life?
yeah, and then it'll show up and it looks like literally a map. Like, and then there's like different tabs to kind of help you guide. Like, it's like a grocery store one, and then there's
They have the two different page, like grocery store page and mobile food pantry page. Like because like just we separated with the different type of the stores.
And another thing is, we know like Willimantic is a heavily like Hispanic population. So we found that if your phone is already like or on a different language, like a lot of people tend to have their keyboard already on Spanish.
Sure.
And you search it up, it'll automatically translate the map to Spanish as well.
So this map right now is specifically Windham County,
Willimantic.
or just Willimantic?
Just Willimantic.
Just really many.
Because I would imagine Hartford, Bridgeport, Waterbury all need this map, all need this assistance in learning the technology to actually benefit from all the hard work that you folks have done to put it together. So is there plans for that?
That's the goal, hopefully in the future. It's kind of like
And you
starting small to see, like making it better and like
Sure.
getting feedback, and then the hope is
So
that eventually.
Willimantic is the test market. I think that's great because it's like we had discussed earlier. You know, we talked about SNAP and the educational grant format from the USDA is going away in October. We already see locally in the food pantry that we have here the difficulty that they're having. Just starting to feel the impacts of the recent cuts from the administration, and I just think we're in for a long season of winter. You know, as local farmers shut down and produce based on weather across this country. Because everything on the East Coast is imported when it comes to produce now, and even more so because then it comes from foreign countries. As winter sets in, and it's going to be so that extra excess isn't going to be available. You know, I was just looking at that with Ray Armini from the Soup Kitchen about the amount of food that's not available, fresh food, the produce. And as a nutrition folks, right, you know, you want to have as much fresh produce as possible and fresh meats, not everything out of a can. But it's the cost of goods is shifting, that it's impacting even Ivy League schools right now as to what they're going to be offering this semester versus any other semester. A lot of the proteins are going to go away that were fresh to some frozen product and so on.
chip beef on toast for the rest of us. That's what
Well,
it's going
maybe
to be.
that's what you need to go on, Doyle, because you obviously are not looking at the map like
So-
I am.
Tell us a little more about. You have to go today to finish a class at the Rec Center. Tell us a little about that class, and are you going to be repeating it or doing it again?
Yeah, so this series is called Little Chefs, and unfortunately this is the last one, but we are always promoting on social media our classes. For example, as I mentioned, we have the Healthy Family Connecticut, so if you type, you see that we have website, we have Facebook, Instagram, so we always like promote our classes. When we are doing here in Willimantic, we promote it, and also when we are doing at the Windham Recreation Center, they also promote our classes there. So just keep like checking on social media that for the future classes.
So you've had 4 classes there, right?
Yes.
And now, who brought you into the rec department?
So it was funny because I was like going to different sites, and I went to the Willimantic Public Library, and then there was, oh, I think you should go to the Windham Recreation, and Debbie, she's awesome. I think it would be like a nice connection for you. So what's to the community that I end up reaching out Debbie, and she was very welcome.
That's Debbie Fisk, the recreation director. Yeah.
Yes.
Also a UConn alum. She's asked for my autographs a few times. Being a former basketball player that I was, compared to her career,
Yeah, I was there, Ken, when she was begging you for it. Yeah.
Yes, I remember the picture she wanted with me. It's unbelievable. So you hooked up with Deb Fisk, which is great, and you've had all these classes have been for little guys.
Yes, between 5 and 10 years
And
old.
teaching them about what snacks to pick and things like that.
So each.
See, Mark needed that when he was a kid. Look at him
Right,
today.
right. It's
Jesus.
fluffing out his does wonders.
Yeah, so each week we had like a different topic. Like first was like eat the rainbow, like fruits and vegetables. The second was about grains, like whole grains, and the third topic was about like avoiding sugary drinks and drinking more water. And today the last one is about dairy, like love your bones, like
How
drink
many?
milk.
How many families? I would assume because they're bringing their kid isn't getting dumped off at 5 and
Yeah.
listen and learn. So how many families have you think you reached through that program alone?
So we had like a limit about like 20, 25 because of the size of the class to be more like interactive and we have more time to like approach everyone. But we had like a lot of registrations. Like we got the 25, but unfortunately some of the classes wasn't like many kids, so unfortunately it was like around like 5, 10 plus the parents or caregivers. So so this was like one of the
Would there be plans for, I know you get busy with the fall because you're full tilt at UConn again, but would there be plans to maybe once a month do an education on the asset map? How do you snap electronically at that rec center?
Yeah, so this is what we are trying
Because
to
you
like.
can go through the school district as well and maybe hook up.
Yeah, this is what we are planning to do more like workshops and different sites and cover like different aspects of our project. Yeah, this is our goal because we are developing some educational message too. So, for example, if they reported something like they are not doing, for example, they are not checking online sales, they would receive like a message, encourage them like, oh, you can search online and see like the flyers online. You don't need to go to the store. You can just like check, for example, type or maybe to like an app or also our map, so you can check the website. So we are developing some like educational message based on their needs.
Have you had conversations with the school district at all?
We already went to different like events, but we haven't like specifically like had like a workshop there. This is actually very
have
good.
you had conversation with the new superintendent?
No,
Well, I know this guy Mark Doyle sits there like a mushroom.
Or
I think that's something that
our food director,
especially because you have a young parents program with that I'm sure could benefit with this
Yeah,
information.
we have the early childhood center.
Yeah, and with our like she mentioned, every workshop or every lesson, no matter the age group, we also bring like a food demonstration. That's a lot of people's favorite part.
Frosted flakes all around, I tell you.
And so with the little chef specifically, like it's also a good way for the families to interact. So like for the first week, she mentioned we did like a eat the rainbow, like different fruits and vegetables, and the kids got to make their own like little fruit like skewers. So they like put random fruit on the little steak.
So just to settle an argument with Ken and I, is Fruit Loops part of the fruit cereal? That's a blank stare, folks.
Ignore him. I'm telling you.
Tell us a little more about the SNAP program. You're saying, I don't think people know they can now use SNAP to do shopping online for their foods?
Yes. So since the pandemic, they expanded the program. So now, like all the states, people can order groceries online using SNAP. But also, as I mentioned, like we don't know if they are fully taking advantage of this because of all the literacy barriers, like how to navigate online, and also like a lot of scams. Some people are like, I'm not going to do anything online because...
Can they use it at a farmer's market?
Yeah, so they can
Okay.
use on the farmer's market, for example. Here in Willimantic, they can use the SNAP there.
That's great.
Yeah. And they have a program they can double too. For example, if they spend like $5, they can like have extra $5 too.
And that's specific to the provider, right? That's just
Is that every vendor at the
Not every-
farmer's market?
No, in Canelica.
No, I mean at the Willimantic one.
Oh yeah, it depends. They need to
Each
check.
vendor's
Yeah.
It has to be set up for the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got to keep that card out of Moxie, and
No.
there'll be no food for anybody left.
The other, I give it. Matter of fact, the other issue with the SNAP program would be the fact that there's the delivery charge or the
Yes.
DoorDash charge. Is that payable through SNAP or is that payable separately?
No, the SNAP benefit doesn't cover like this like phase.
Because I assume that
Yeah.
might be a roadblock to some folks to use
It
it.
may
Exactly.
be, Mark, but honestly, sometimes if they're on SNAP, not everybody, but I'm saying if some people are on SNAP, they can't even afford to get the car to have a car to go to Stop and Shop
Yeah.
or Big Y and get their own groceries. This is something that so they would lean on the little local
Yeah, the
convenience
SNAP
stores.
would be convenient for them. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure people understood they're not going to be able to
No.
pay those extra fees with the SNAP.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
interesting, though. I didn't. That's interesting. I've never done online food shopping. I'm one of those old-fashioned guys that go in and I like to squeeze the lemons and buy them. But you never know.
We've used the online ordering. It's convenient when you can't get out or
Yes.
the downside is that you can't do freelance. You can't suddenly
I'll
look at
eat
that.
half a bag of cherries
Yeah.
before I decide if I want
That's
more.
right. Yeah, you can't see this impulse item and pick it up. You get what you ordered.
Yeah, that's not for me.
But it's convenient. It's convenient.
No, I can imagine. No, it has to be for folks who are in that situation. It
Yeah.
has to be.
It especially helps like when there's like bigger items or a lot and like you're taking a bus. So like not many people can carry a lot. Especially and sometimes the bus is unreliable. So if you have like places to be, you got to go to work by 3 p.m. or something, like sometimes the bus won't get you there by that time.
Yeah.
But especially carrying a lot of things, because I've seen people, you see them waiting at a bus stop, they have like 7, 8, 10 bags. So that's where like that also could help when you like pick orders that tend to have more things. So it's just, you're getting more like for your buck when you're utilizing like online ordering.
No, that makes 100% sense to me in doing that. Because you see that all day. You see the guys and gals or whatever, even with bicycles in the good weather, but in the winter they're just struggling, or they, then there's the folks that just take the shopping carts and push it home, and that's costing everyone money. Plus they can get themselves into trouble for something that honestly that's their solution to a pretty big problem for them. They gotta get the stuff home to their kids. So.
Yeah, and some people to avoid these fees, they go like to pick up there instead of like being delivered to the home. They go
Yeah.
and pick there.
That's true. They can order it online and then pick it up. Right. Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
They'll even put it in your car. 'Cause
Yeah.
We've done that as
It's
well.
like a drive-up option. And they'll bring it outside.
Yeah, they'll bring it right outside and load up your car for
And I
you.
guarantee at UConn, there's plenty of students who are in that same boat. They can't afford the meal plan, or in that that food insecurity on college campuses is unbelievable.
And also, like, the resources many times are not advertised enough. Like we mentioned, there's these resources and people don't know about it. Like, when I was an undergrad and I was dorming at UConn, there's a whole food pantry on campus, and it ran 2 days, like, every week. And it literally was in the same apartment, like, complex I lived at, and I didn't know about it until like my best friend was a nutrition major, and she like had the like more specific details, and I was like, "Are you serious? It's right outside my door," and I could have went, but it's just like a lot of things are not promoted correctly, so you think your only option is like dining hall food or like, but they're the like food pantry you go and like you can get, there was like frozen things, there was like sometimes produce, like coffee, like random things like that, but most students didn't even know it existed.
So, talking about promotion, do you guys come to the third Thursday, or the UConn come to third Thursday with a table to explain some of this, or are you showing up at the farmers market? How is general public going to touch base with you and find out about this?
Yeah, so last year we did, but this year we haven't been yet to the third Thursday festival, but last
Can hear
2
that.
years.
Get
Yeah.
them- get them an
It's
invitation.
easy to take care of, right? So I still say, reach out to the school superintendent, get on the docket there so that you can interact with your young parent programs. You've got a housing complex out in North Wyndham.
Yeah,
right?
we
You've been
usually,
there?
yeah.
Community center there where you can outreach families. Because if the language barrier is a killer, and they got to figure things out, and the technology, even for someone like Mark, it gets a little difficult, after a while. So
true.
it changes it by the hour, it really does. And I think what you're doing is unbelievable.
The last time I looked up food, I was doing Candy Crush. It was very confusing.
I don't even know why I have him on.
It's very confusing.
He's got nothing to do on Thursday afternoon, so I let him sit with me. And
I'm actually competing with Matt for high score.
Yeah, leave Matt out of it. He's a good guy. He knows what he's doing. But those are just a few at the top of my head. And there's all kinds of, like, the Elks Club would be, not that they would. They should be able to host an event like this, so you have it's just the outreach opportunity where people gather, and those folks can then spread the word for you. Because I've been saying it, between the local tax situation here recently and the rising rents, the cost of food, I think we're in for a difficult.
Well, it's interesting, Ken, because that's essentially how these young ladies ended up here. Is I received an email that was sent to elected officials, and I said, "Well, this sounds like a good program for Windham Weekly," and that's so it's making some random connections in order to get the word out there.
Anyway, I thought she came up here because she got tired of laying on the beach at Rio.
No, they came up here.
And I did want to mention, like, you guys had brought this up, like, or, like, to clarify, we also don't only do it in, like, lessons in Willimantic. We also go to, like, we go to Hartford, we go to Manchester, Vernon, like, also cities around. And we also don't only do lessons with kids. That was specifically the Little Chefs one. But we, like, we cater to all age groups, and then all age groups, all their lessons also get food demonstrations. It's not just the kids. And then also we always ask, like, if the site has a specific topic that they want us to cover, we always do that. And then you also mentioned, like, language barriers. We also do the lessons in English and Spanish if we know that they'll have, like, Spanish residents on the site. Like, we have people on the team who are essentially bilingual. Like even me, actually. So, like, we go and we, like, do it both in English and Spanish, because that is another problem where, again, we'll give this lesson, but if English isn't your first language, sometimes I'm not going to retain what you're telling me.
I'm sorry about your name, but I would imagine in Norwich, because out that way there's a huge Asian population that have, I'm sure, difficulty as well, just like the Hispanic folks do with the language barrier. Do you anything specific for that population? Because I know there's like 22 dialects at NFA of Asian.
Actually, is it here? I have a lot of Asian population here.
In Willimantic?
Not in Willimantic, but
so.
We doing, like, the recruitment in the food pantry side in the Willimantic.
Okay.
Or in the Mansfield. It's a lot of Asian, like, especially for the Chinese here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but right now, like, because 10 of them is not living here, so is also maybe we can write into the future plan to, when we expand the areas of map, maybe we will include some, like, more language translator into the map, like maybe Chinese or Japanese, Koreans.
Yeah, because I know the school district out there fairly well, and I know there's either 22 or 26 Asian dialects in that one school district. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, like,
I didn't think there was that many.
There's a huge Asian group in these areas.
Yeah. Thank you. So that's an interesting topic, because obviously, for the most part, different food products that they're going to be using specifically, right, in the Asian cooking world. Not that they don't eat hamburgers and hot dogs, but I'm just saying, in general, when you get a family and they're all coming over and they got to try to find those Asian markets specifically. The Hispanic food is a little different and is always different. That's why if you look at it, if you go to Stop and Shop, the produce now, is from all over the place, and heavy on Hispanic. You go to Bob's IGA, and he has specific foods for that population as well. And it's all going to be broken down into what you're doing, because if I'm clicking on there and I'm Hispanic, I'm thinking to myself, well, who is the biggest? Like, I have a Middle Eastern background, and so I know where I got to go to get the things that I need to make my family's food, right? So they must be clicking on there. I think that's something you can add to your asset map if you don't have it already. Cultural specific food groups, food locations and such.
Yeah, that's like a big like emphasis for us. Like,
It is.
understanding like
See, I'm not going for my PhD in this food thing, but I know the food game.
Yes, sir.
you do.
Yes.
Thank you. See, you see that, Mark? That's
I introduced you as the food guy.
all right.
But that is important because I think a lot of times culture is like not thought about when we talk
Exactly.
about food. It's very like black and white. But for example, there's just a lot of cultural ties to food where it's just even like if I can acknowledge, yes, it has a lot of salt. It's my cultural food. And
Just
I
take a
that
blood
wa-
pressure pill. It'll help.
but that was a struggle, like specifically for me when I came onto the team of like there's like what you're told to, like in nutrition where like, oh, this is healthy, but then there's also that cultural aspect like, yes, but this is what like I grew up on. And so what we've like tried to do specifically with like recipes and stuff is like small substitutions that don't
Yeah.
take away from the actual like I guess integrity of the food, like it's still cultural. And then small like little substitutions, and then for the like you mentioned, the cultural markets and stuff on the food asset map in Willimantic, we've tried to make sure we add that. A struggle we find with cultural based foods is that they tend to be at very specific places, and they usually are kind of further away.
It's funny because, like I told you before, I'm half Irish and half Syrian, right? And I love most most foods anyway. Period.
Yeah.
It's a problem I might have. But anyway, so I know if I'm going into Providence, I know where I'm going to go to a Middle Eastern store to get this and get my supplies for the holidays and so on. But when you're in a pinch, right here on Main Street in Willimantic is a gas station on the, and in that store, they have an amazing spice supply of Middle Eastern spices and such. And I learned that from one of my wife's uncles used to rent to a lot of grad students, and and from Lebanon or this country and that country. And I would go over and where do you get your spices? She goes, oh, I get them from that gas station over there. I'm like, what? And sure enough, I went in. I say, hey, next time I'm in a pinch. And it's the authentic stuff. It isn't, because you can get it. You can get some of it, right, at Stop and Shop. But it doesn't, for me, you got to smell the spice to know it's good, right? Right. It makes a difference what you're using, and otherwise you're tripling up on it just to get the flavor.
Yeah.
It looks brown. That must be it. Well, no. But can you imagine that? I mean, I don't bet you that's not on your asset map.
Yeah. And like for example,
Check the website, Ken.
when I was at UConn, like when I did want to make cultural food, I couldn't get it on campus. Like they have the like grocery store on campus, but when you go, there's not much cultural based like spices, foods, and if you did happen to find something, it's like way overpriced. Where I don't even want the food anymore, like
Right.
because
Now,
there's just too much money.
Are you first generation?
Yes.
Okay, so mom and dad came from
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Where in Puerto Rico? Ponce?
No, so my mom, she's near Ponce. She's from Cuamo. It's like, not very city there. But it is near Ponce. And then my dad's from Arecibo, which is like at the top of the island.
Yeah.
Near Brazil, Ken.
She's not near Brazil. What the hell are you talking about?
Nowhere near, no.
This is what I mean. He doesn't know about food. He doesn't know about
It's
geography.
in the northeast section. Speaking of food and geography, I know we have the UConn co-op here, which
But let's put him on the Board of Ed.
we find it very helpful within our family cooking because you can get smaller amounts of spice. One of the problems I have with going to the grocery store, you get this 6-ounce bottle of spice when I only need a teaspoon or a tablespoon or a pinch. Is there a way of getting that information out there, or have you guys worked with them at all? Or
We're actually working with them like very closely. Like we were just there a couple of days ago picking stuff up. So they're like trying to push out a program that they've been working on. And we're essentially like supporting one another. And to like help get their like I guess like name, because they really want to get like I guess more up and running. They've actually for the food Little Chefs program we've been doing at the rec, they help like supply some of the like foods for us. And then they came into the program and they talked about the food co-op and like what they're about, the resources they have available. So it's kind of like, again, like I mentioned before, a lot of community organizations and partners support one another. So we work very closely with them. They helped, like, again, like I said, supply us the food. They're like a really, really good program for Willimantic. And like I always like tell people like please go like stop in there, like
The co-op
that's
we're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
the one like right
The
behind
one at the
the
co-op.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're just.
and like they have like memberships there that give
Yes,
you like
yeah.
discounts and stuff, and they have some like really exciting things coming up within maybe the next year or so, but no, they're like an amazing program, and like I said, we just work very
Yeah.
closely.
So the concern is, and I know our PhD student left because she had to go teach that class.
Yeah.
But so the concern is her funding from the federal government is going away October 1st. How does she
Yeah.
finish her program? Because she's not going to finish until the end of next year.
Yeah, so like it's like she mentioned, that's the educational portion is getting defunded. But after October 1st, she mentioned like it's up to kind of like the state level.
So the state might take over.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, this could be copycatted all across the country.
Yes.
But for Windham, and I'm so happy you're doing it as a pilot here, because like you said, it's a small enough town. It's got big problems, but it's a small enough town where you can make a shift in theory and in practice and make a difference. Like, no, that's not really working. Let's click this way. But if you take this map that you're working on, and again, the map is wonderful, but unless you stress that technology piece and do the educational outreaches, because all these communities could use it. There's a ton. You're from Bridgeport. You understand that. It's tough.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it has been tough with like everything going on. Like we mentioned, we go a lot into like actual sites, especially like me, I'm in Willimantic. So I'm like in a lot of places in Willimantic, and I find that like with everything going on, a lot of people are like hesitant to talk to us, or like they don't know if we're asking for personal information. And I respect that. Like it is scary. So if anybody ever like
People
"No, I
are
don't
living
really
in
wanna
fear
talk."
right now.
Yeah, and with
Look at
good
Doyle.
reason.
He's hiding out.
Well, it is kind of I have done many community events, and sometimes it's easier to leave your brochures on the table and walk away because
Yeah.
people will not approach it if they think you're going to start talking to them. So
No, that is true. That's why the first thing, like I always say, is like we're not taking any personal information. And also, along with our lessons, sometimes we just go into like mobile food pantries and we just hand out recipes, because there's a misconception that healthy needs to taste nasty. I grew up thinking that, where any healthy food tastes disgusting.
Some of it does.
That's why there's
Be
ways
honest.
around it. No, there's ways around it.
Broccoli. Who wants to eat a
And
tree?
but that's the whole point of finding what works
I
for
like
you.
broccoli.
I hate broccoli.
Oh, it's bananas that I don't like.
Oh, I love bananas.
So
So-
but the key to it too. You were talking about salt in the Hispanic food, or there's plenty of unhealthy things in the Asian food too. When I go out, especially because it's American Asian, right? It's not. So you have to. I mean, I can't live without my going to this particular Chinese restaurant on a Friday. I just can't live without it. But I know I have to do it in moderation, and it's the same thing with some of my stuff. I mean, some of my stuff is like a gallon of lemon juice for the grape leaves, So you got to watch what you're doing, but you just in moderation and look.
So you're cutting down to only a half a pound of the Chinese food instead of the full pound.
Doyle, please.
Tell us just briefly. Again, you gave us the website. Why don't we repeat that for people for the map? Is there another way for people to contact anyone at the school? Let's say somebody from Click wants to get involved. How do they get a
That's
hold of
another
you?
group that you can talk to.
Yeah, we actually do talk to them as well.
See how the voice always comes up with great ideas? We only get
Wait.
I know we only get a few
Thank
minutes.
you.
Not even a few minutes. We got 1 minute. So go ahead.
Essentially, you can always DM us on the Instagram. It's pretty much me or Daniela.
That's direct message, Mark.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, direct message.
I didn't think it was Dan Mark, so I think. It was
And then also like we have our like personal or like our UConn emails. Like I'm the one who emailed you
Yes,
with
you
the
are, yep.
got in contact.
Many times.
And a lot of our flyers will put our emails. People can email us there.
Okay.
But I think direct messaging us on Instagram or Facebook.
Now,
is
is it
probably
just
the
you
most
three that
direct.
are out there doing it, or there are other
No,
students?
there's like a couple more of us. We're just like we wanted to represent the different projects.
Yep.
I get in touch with Mark again, however you want to do it, and so we can get that information out there. Hey, listen, we're gonna end our show really quick here. I want to thank the 3 young ladies from UConn. It's a worthwhile PhD program, I think, and sounds like a very interesting course and career path that you guys are looking at. Very positive, and I'm thankful I'll thank you on behalf of the whole town for making Willimantic part of your pilot project. I think it's great. Next week, Mark, who do we have? I stumped him again.
I'm hoping we're going to get the rec department in, or the library. One of the
Okay,
two.
we'll get one or the other. Either
One of
we
the
can
two.
rest and relax and read a book, or we can make Mark jog a little
That's
bit.
right.
But honestly, thank you. I think it's great, and we're fortunate to have you in our community. And I wish you very, much success in the future. And we'd love to have you back to see how this whole thing turns out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
We love
Thank heavens for
You
Ken.
love the voice of Wyndham, right?
Yes,
thank-
we did actually.
Thank
See?
heavens,
There you go.
thank heavens for Ken and the girls. Okay.